Okay, before we even get into it, I have to ask each of you real quick, yes or no. Is cereal a soup?
No.
Real quick.
I guess like technically it is, but I wouldn't consider it a soup.
But like, what is categorized as a soup?
Fucking
Liquid base with food inside, right?
yeah, I guess it's
Really?
I guess oatmeal is technically a soup too.
See, I wouldn't.
Oatmeal
consider
is a porridge
So why is cereal not a porridge?
because it doesn't have like that consistency throughout. The milk is
You
like.
can. I know people used to warm milk and have cornflakes, so like it's all warm and.
Oh, I'm not talking about like the warmth. I'm talking about the texture.
So what if it's a clumpy soup? Is it a porridge? Like your soup that
Okay,
you have
fine.
right now, is
Soup,
that a porridge?
porridge is a type of soup. Fine, I'm cool with that. But is cereal a soup?
I guess technically, yeah.
Well, that's uncomfortable to know because I don't drink soup. But I mean, I don't drink cereal either. So.
I drink it.
But is soup a beverage? Because you drink soup.
I guess.
It is a beverage. I
Technically.
always said that.
So it's the category beverage, then soup, then cereal are all subcategories of a beverage. So cereal is a beverage?
Yeah. We were trying to get at this.
No,
man.
not
like
necessarily. Because cereal is
If soup is a beverage and cereal is a soup, therefore...
No. Cereal is not a soup. Because technically, if you are eating cornflakes with no milk, are you eating cereal? Yes. Because you're eating the cereal.
But if you're eating chicken without putting it in soup, you're still eating chicken.
But you're not eating soup.
You're not eating chicken soup.
So if I'm eating, like, because I don't drink soup, but I will take the chicken out of the soup and I'm eating chicken. I'm not drinking the soup.
There you go.
So therefore...
If you have a glass of milk, you're drinking milk.
Yes.
If you have a bowl of milk, what are you doing?
You're drinking the milk.
Right. So is it now a soup because it's in the bowl? Forget the actual cereal, like, cornflakes, whatever. If the milk is in a bowl...
Is it soup? No.
So putting the cereal in it makes it a soup.
I don't think it matters what it goes into.
Without milk and milk without cereal are not soups, but together they are a soup.
I don't think so. I wouldn't consider.
Why?
I guess so. That makes sense.
It does make sense.
Chicken's by itself, it's just chicken, but you put liquid with it, and then it's soup. You
Exactly.
put like some hot water with it, and it becomes soup.
Exactly.
It's a pretty plain soup.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Oh, I have... Yes.
I guess technically, because like the proper, like the really good quality hot dog bread kind of looks like regular old bread. It looks like a loaf of bread.
I feel like the category for sandwich is bread, whatever.
Meat.
It doesn't have to be meat because you...
It has to be meat.
Okay.
No vegan sandwiches in here.
Okay, but bread, middle bread. And like... Just because you're like turning it vertically doesn't mean... You know what I mean?
Yeah, some people eat their pizza like that. Is it still pizza?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just because you fold your pizza, you can fold almost any food. You can fold a French fry. It's not a sandwich. you were really on a roll, but
it's like now it's a sandwich.
You're like, I'm gonna enjoy this
Soup.
sandwich.
Soup, by definition, is liquid food prepared by boiling.
So you have to boil it.
Yeah.
By definition, yes.
Oh, so I was wrong then. So then cereal is a cereal.
So then what is cereal?
Cereal
what
is its
category
own
is it?
thing.
But, which is crazy.
Cereal is a type of food. It's
You
not a
said
category.
No, so soup is... Hot soup is, they define it as stew.
My fucking ears, man.
Oh, sorry.
That hot came in hot. That hot came in hot.
Yeah, soup, they
see
define
Brenda's heart.
as a stew if it is hot. But if it soaks, it is then a broth.
No, hold on.
And
There's
therefore, by
cold
definition, the ending says cereal is soup.
Yeah. How did that soup
because there
become
are cold. No. There's
But
soups
how did
that
that
are
soup-
meant to be consumed
Yeah,
cold.
yeah.
But how'd you make that soup in the first place?
You make it hot and then let it cool.
Not all of them. It depends on what
What
the base
soup
is.
do you just put in cold?
I'm not a soup connoisseur, so I can't tell you.
Yeah,
but like,
soup
not
starts-
every.
Soup starts hot.
Yeah,
Not
listen,
every
it's food,
soup
huh? If
needs
you want
to
it,
be
have it.
boiled.
There you go.
Who cares what the definition is?
Okay, well,
We don't care about labels here.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
This is a all-inclusive podcast.
This is a. How many times you can?
Hey, include me. I have learning disabilities.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You can't just excuse stupidity on a
Yes,
learning
I
disability.
can.
That's not how
I'm
that
on the
works.
spectrum.
You're on the spectrum of stupidity, not autism. You're not autistic, Eugene.
Well, I was upstairs.
First of all, that implies that people with autism can't be smart, which they can.
I didn't say that.
And they could probably smarter than everyone in
didn't
this
say that.
in this square room.
Definitely in my brain, yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I mean,
I never said that.
don't try to.
I never said autistic people are stupid.
Yeah, don't put words in his mouth.
Yeah, you little turd.
I said it implies. I didn't say he said that.
But you're implying that I said that.
You're implying that he's implying that.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying that he's implying it. I'm not implying it.
But he's not implying it.
Welcome to this square room. I feel like we always have moments where we're very like educational, you know? Like now
What's that?
Because now they learn that cereal is a soup.
It's not.
It is.
It's a breakfast
by
soup.
definition.
Oh,
it
by
is.
definition.
It's breakfast soup. Yeah.
Ew.
I know that's nasty.
What?
Gross.
Sounds like something gross. Sounds like a
Breakfast soup?
You want some of this breakfast soup?
Why'd you make it into something sexual?
Because it sounds sexual.
No. What would breakfast? I even want
Do
to
you want
ask.
some of this hot dog sandwich?
Well, because like a burger is a sandwich. You guys wouldn't argue that, right?
It's not.
It is.
Yes, it is.
Joking. I had 2 burgers today.
Why is it that when it's
a burger,
like beef, they call it a burger, but when it's chicken, they call it a chicken sandwich?
It's a chicken sandwich.
No, but like
that's
they're the
weird.
same
Yeah,
thing.
I didn't realize that.
Who cares, man?
Chicken burger.
It's not beef sandwich.
So
it sounds like a.
I could
dirty
go
vagina.
to like a fast food place and be like, "Can I get a beef sandwich?"
You know, they'll be like, "Ew."
But
We'd be like, "Oh, you're from America, huh?"
that's what it is.
From here,
not from
are you?
America. They're like, you're from freaking Timbuktu. But that's what it is. It's a beef sandwich.
Yeah, that's just no. It's a burger. If it's ground beef, it's a burger. If it's steak, then it's a steak sandwich.
But that's still beef.
Yeah, but no.
I can call it a beef sandwich.
Don't call it. That sounds like a really gross vagina. Give me that beef sandwich, girl.
That's first of all, you know how much I hate that, and secondly, it's
sorry for the
roast
people
beef.
who are actually in Timbuktu, because that's in Mali.
Huh?
Mali? How do you pronounce it?
Maui.
That's a place.
Yeah, I know.
Timbuktu.
I know it is.
Yeah, but you just offended them.
Isn't Maui in?
I didn't. I said
you did.
You said I'm probably from the States, and I'm naming somewhere that's even further.
Timbuktu, but you said it like I said it in an offensive way.
Yeah, you did.
I was offending.
I hate to like put it out there, but I seriously doubt anyone's listening to our podcast in Timbuktu.
You don't know that.
Hey, who knows?
We have someone in the Philippines listen to us, and Timbuktu's not that far away from the Philippines.
We're
You're saying that like you know for a fact?
It's not that far away.
He has no idea.
No, I'm pretty sure Timbuktu is what, Maui?
Mali?
Is it Mali or
Bali?
Maui?
Yeah.
No, it's not Bali.
I know, but I don't know what you're
I
trying
think
to
Maui's
say.
in like the Fiji Islands. Around that area.
Western Africa.
Oh, that's far away. It's not that far. It's closer than here.
Early Hugh.
It's closer than here.
Okay, all right. Let's
It's closer. Come on, Philippines, Maui, not that far.
let me ask you guys. Okay, so there's 2 pills: red pill, blue pill.
Blue.
First,
I've been taking that red pill for a while. It's a
Advil.
It's a political thing. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. I was like, well, if blue is Viagra, then what the hell are you taking?
Oh, that's what you're talking about?
No. But like the way I don't know what you said. Okay, so I want your answer first, Hugh. Then you, Des.
Yes.
Red pill. You restart your life at age 10 with all the knowledge that you have now. Blue pill. You jump to 45 years old with 50 million in the bank.
Yeah, I'm going to 45, bro. That's like my comfortable age.
You're going to 45?
Yeah, that's my comfortable age, man.
Okay, before you explain it, what's your answer?
Honestly, I might take the red pill.
Red pill is a restart?
Yeah.
I would take the red pill too. So since you're the odd man out, why would you?
It's like I'm fun. I feel like I already have the mentality of a 45-year-old with all the stuff I do. Like I just sit outside, drink coffee, and play with my dog. I just do 45-year-old stuff already, and like I could just retire. I accept what happened in my life so far. It is what it is.
Right, but like you're missing.
Everything
I jumped
in
to
between.
45?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, I jumped to 45.
You jumped to 45. So everything from now till 45, you have no idea. You could just wake up with kids and grandkids and all these things, and you have no idea where that came about. But you have 50 million.
I can start at 10.
You could in the next if you jump 20 years of your life, you could have grandkids.
Yeah. Your kids
Although
could
45
be like me.
isn't old, you could still have grandkids. 50 million though.
I feel like with how my mind is going now, I feel like I'd make...
You're okay with jumping to 45.
I think I'd make good enough decisions where I'd be able to accept where I fuck up.
No. I don't think it's about like you're not gonna like wake up in this hypothetical situation. You're not gonna wake up in jail or dead. Like you're guaranteed you're gonna have like a similar life to what you have now.
You don't
you're
wake up dead.
Oh, you wake up dead. Trust me, you can wake up dead. Let me tell you, I've had some days. Whoo, child.
That's depressing. That's very depressing.
You ever been hungover as fuck? You wake up dead.
Just wake up just like, fuck.
You wake up dead.
I've only had one hangover, actually.
Oh, lucky. I get a hangover.
Is that the
one?
one?
Yeah. That's the one.
We should tell that story after
Yeah,
this.
no, I think, what am I, 25 now? So how many years is that? Like 20 years?
I've literally been saying 20 years over and
Look,
over again. So.
I don't know math.
Math doesn't know you.
Yeah, no, literally.
Could I be fine? I think I could be fine with that, yeah. And
See, the way I feel is like, I don't know.
Because 45 is like the new 20.
You can tell me if you agree with this. It's not about that. It's about losing 20 years of your life just gone. Time is so precious. What if you only live to 46?
And that's what it's meant to be then, man.
No, it wasn't. You chose to go for that.
Yeah, but like maybe if I didn't choose either pill, I was gonna die at 46 anyways.
Right,
Maybe
but now you've lost 20 years.
Of enjoyment.
Hey man, that's my
sadness.
fate, man. I got 1 year to.
You get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, but like, what if we go back to 10 and I die at 11?
Well, you wouldn't, because you did not die at 11.
And yeah, you can't.
You just go back to you being
altering
10 with the
history.
same knowledge.
Going being 10,
But you now know things that are gonna happen. And
So let's put it this way: say 45. So you know that you're gonna at least live till 45 because the possibility to jump there, you have to have been already going to live until 45. Well,
But
death is all. What do you think you're gonna live forever?
But how can you? Not, if you're just going back in time.
What I'm saying
What
is,
if you make a decision? What when you go back
but
to 10?
you have all of the knowledge that you do now.
But you don't
you
know.
could fucking start Instagram.
Yeah, but you don't know
start
what kind
Facebook.
of. Yeah, but you might break the timeline and you might fucking die somehow.
you might, but you have the knowledge of certain things, so you can go about things differently. I would
But
do
you
it.
have knowledge that you don't know about.
I would
That
do it
could
just so
allow
I
you
can
to
do the
die.
same stupidness again, because I had a great time being stupid.
You know what I would do? I would literally go back. I would go. There's a lot of things I would change, but I would go. I would check like the winning lotto numbers for like a time in the past, and just make sure I have all the knowledge I have at this age. So I just make sure I memorize it and go back and like, Mom,
this is the number we're choosing,
these are
and
the
I don't
numbers.
care.
I just have a hunch. Don't worry. She's gonna be like, why are you so mature all of a sudden? You just wake up and you're like, hello, mother.
How are you doing today?
I don't know.
Have you filed your taxes recently?
I'm not sure which one I would choose.
But yeah, for me, it's mostly about the whole like I said, I feel like the money can come because you have all of the knowledge. So even if the lottery
I feel like
thing,
it takes all the fun out of life, then the unpredictability in this.
it's still unpredictable. But
but you know
can
the
like
numbers, so
pursue
you
an
know all the
idea.
money, and then you're like you can just steal the ideas that have already been done.
Right, but I feel like that opens up a whole new life for yourself that you didn't have. So the life will be different.
But I feel like once again it takes that satisfaction of coming up with actually new ideas.
You could come up with a new idea because you know
You have an idea of what's to come, so you can go about it differently.
Okay.
Yeah, like when you know what like okay, we know where like technology is going, so you don't have to come up with Facebook or Google or Instagram or whatever.
Something else.
Something
But
just
I'm
knowing
10.
the progression. Right, but you have
But you
all
have
of
the
the knowledge that
No one's
of
gonna
you
take
right now.
But I'm gonna be like Greta Thunberg. No one's gonna take me
That's
seriously
okay. Don't
that
let them
long.
take you seriously. But then when you're 20 and you're a billionaire
You
and
save
you
up
own
money.
Amazon because it was a stupid bookstore that
gonna be like,
nobody
"Y'all didn't take me
wanted,
seriously,
nobody
huh?"
could tell you anything.
I think I'm gonna go with 45.
I knew you weren't going to change your
Yeah, I
answer.
think I'm fine with 45.
I just feel like I couldn't like lose 20 years of my life.
No, I think I'm good with 45. Yeah, I'm good with that. I feel like that's my comfortable age. Is like 45, 50.
That makes me like
And like I said, I feel like 45 nowadays is like the new 20. Like I see tons of these 40-year-olds that make people my age look like little.
No,
pansies.
45 isn't old. We're not saying you're gonna be like old and senile, but it's just like in the scheme of life, you don't know how long you're gonna live. So to lose 20 years is
For
scary.
those of you who are 45, I want you to know that 45 is old. No. Don't let nobody tell you it's not. It's old.
45 is not old.
If a 45-year-old does something, you're going to be like, you're too old to do that. You're too old to do this. You're too old to be that stupid.
J-Lo is like 53. Have you seen her?
She's still old, but looks good as an old person. That doesn't mean she's not old. You're old.
I feel like old. Like I feel like a 50-year-old back in like the 70s where it was just like crumpled up, and compared to like the 50-year-olds now.
crumpled up like a piece of paper.
Yeah, go compare. Like old people from back in the day are just like, oh my.
Well,
God.
now everybody cares about how you look and staying the way you look when you're young.
We have more
and-
knowledge.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
people always wanted to look young, but it's just
We
like
just have better
we have
technology,
right.
and better workouts and diets and stuff.
Well, it's time for that.
You think
Listen,
they wanted
if
to
I'm
look like
old,
that?
if I'm old and I look old, I better be married, huh? You're not going nowhere. We're gonna look old together. If you don't look old, please don't go.
I'm excited because I know I'm gonna look like this for like a good till I'm like at least 50. Because everyone in my family looks.
Oh,
pretty
that's
much the
nice.
same.
I have about two more years.
you look at your watch like I got about
Oh, like that movie where all their death is by their watch. The time, I don't remember what it's called, but who cares?
It was the one with
Justin Timberlake, yeah.
You know, my mom, she's like 62, but
Don't put her age out there.
She doesn't matter. She looks like she's like late 40s.
She doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. She looks like she's in her 40s.
I mean, she doesn't
care.
care.
My mom's always looked young too. Everyone thinks like we're siblings. Like when I was like 13,
your mom
14,
does look young.
Everyone would be like, "Oh, like is that your boyfriend?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Mom, that's disgusting. Please,
Mom,
please, don't do that."
Genre of porn hasn't gone.
Yeah, you see what I mean? Like, don't do it. Don't
wait
do it.
10 years.
But first of all, it's not your mom. It's stepmom. It's not.
It's also your mom.
No. They have mom too.
It's also your mom.
Yeah. You gotta understand, people are into some weird things.
Listen, you think it's juice?
If I had a son and I caught him even looking at me wrong, you're out of the house, you're out of the family, you're out of the will. Done.
Wow.
Not in this porn.
No,
You're in the other
gross.
house.
How are you feeling, Hugh?
Oh, I'm fine.
You know why I'm asking?
Yeah.
Because you took a little bite of what is it, like a
butter.
of weed butter.
I want to say I took a bite out of it.
It was a little
small piece.
I took a piece and I just put it in my
Yeah,
mouth.
don't say a bite.
You didn't bite.
Took a piece of butter and
True.
just bit it.
Sorry, you took a
Not
knife, you cut a little
savage.
piece, but you just ate butter plain.
It's fat. It's
gross.
energy.
Nobody does that.
Better.
But you're not feeling it anymore?
Nah, I'm good. I'm alive.
Yeah. You'll be fine.
See, because Des, you brought it for him, and I assumed that it was gonna be very I was worried for you.
It also wasn't that much butter.
It wasn't, but it's also very potent.
Yeah.
And it's also probably just because I ate butter. If I mixed it with something, it'll probably be different.
Maybe.
Wait till he cooks it.
Yeah, eventually I'll cook it sometime.
Panicking.
I'll call you. I'll probably do it sometime this week or next week. And be like, hey guys, I can't see the world.
I can't open my eyes.
Literally, so I mean, we've talked about it on the podcast before. You and I, like last November, December, we had our episode where I
went to hell.
Had an edible beforehand, and like I'm gonna preface this by saying, and I've said it before, I don't smoke. I've had a couple moments. I've had a couple moments where I've tried it, and it's just not good. It's just not for me.
Not for everybody.
Like, I mean, that episode is literally called "We Took an Edible Before Recording This." If you guys want to listen to it, yeah, that one wasn't that bad. It was a red velvet cheesecake edible, and I had one bite. No, but I was really, really high, but I wasn't like dying. I was just like anything more, a crumb more, and I would have been like, well, because I'm I guess you call it a lightweight for that too, right? So it's like I'm a lightweight. I don't do that, so like my body's not used to it, so it takes a lot less for me. But like our thought process was like, okay, if I take one bite, you can take three because you are way more experienced.
That was the worst high I've ever had.
You should have maybe done two.
I should have done one.
It was that bad.
It was the worst high I've ever had.
Literally, guys, you need to listen to this episode
before
because if you
that,
want to get the full effect.
Before that, it was the high where I called you saying that I transcended. That was that. Before that, I would say that was the worst high. But the difference between that high and this high is that high. Well, it's the highness, but also that high, I got to a bed. This one, we sat there and prolonged the high, watching the fucking challenge and some shit. And I remember saying like, we got to do this now because I'm fucking
because we had to record the podcast.
I'm going to heaven right now, and I don't want to go yet. You know?
Well, I remember asking you, like, yeah, we can finish this episode. You're like, yeah, and then you sat there and you're like, can we record now? And I was like, why? Like the episode's almost done. You're like, we need to record now.
Yeah. And then that was like.
Well, was it last year or was it the year before? We were at a cottage and I had smoked once with you before.
Yeah. Here. Like, no. Down there.
Yeah, I had smoked once with you before. Got a decent amount of high. For me, it was still a lot because I told you my head was heavy. I felt like I couldn't move, like whatever. And then there was another time with...
We got high other times before that.
We
made cookies before.
It was one time... Well... I nibbled the cookie, but we made
I
them
remember
really
like 10.
You ate them.
Yeah,
I didn't.
I ate 10 before I got high.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
10 cookies. They're so weak.
Well, we made them weak on purpose.
Yeah.
And I did take a nibble, but I didn't get... No, that was...
No, you did get high. You did. I remember you... Because you get a specific look when you get high.
Yeah, you tell me I have raccoon eyes, which is so rude.
But you do. I know when you're high because your eyes get raccoony.
Don't look at me.
It really does.
Now Des is looking at me like...
It's just like they kind of like sink in or something. I don't know.
He's literally saying I get beady eyes.
Yeah.
No, your eyes don't get beady. You just get like the dark circles that come out.
Wow, fucking Jesus. Thank you.
I don't know.
What everyone wants to hear. No, but... So I had smoked with you once. It was okay. It wasn't great, but it wasn't like a horrible experience. Yeah. And then I tried to smoke with you another time, you and one of my friends, and you, according to you said you packed the spliff too tightly, and I couldn't pull from it.
Yeah, you couldn't pull anything.
So I didn't end up. So I was like, y'all just do it. You guys are experienced. I don't want to like fuck myself up. So the next, because that time you were like, oh, you gotta pull, go hard. So then the next time you were like, okay, make sure you pull hard, and I'm like, okay. And this is at the cottage.
But this one I packed lighter.
and didn't tell me. You told me to pull hard and you packed it light, and I pulled hard. And I took like 2 or 3, and then I'm like, okay. And then when I tell you, it felt like a truck hit me. I couldn't move. I couldn't move my head. I was sitting in a recliner, and I felt like literally like Get Out when he sinks into the sunken place. That's what I felt like. This is a very
soft chair.
And I remember just feeling like my heart, like you ever see like in cartoons when like a cartoon is in love and their heart goes out of their chest? That's what I felt. So I'm sitting there kind of reclined, and like I'm trying to explain to him that I can't move, and I'm like literally thinking that this is it. Like,
what's this feeling? Is this my heart?
This is the way I
had that same feeling too. I was probably 18. This is the first. They called it greening out once you throw up when you're high.
I've heard of that.
So me and my friends, we did a lot that day, and they're all standing there talking. I'm sitting on my couch, and I just remember being so high, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking at them talk. And I felt like I was sinking into my couch. So I jump up and they're looking at me. They're like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And I look at my couch to make sure I'm not, okay. So I sit back down and I'm sinking in the couch. And I feel like it's just sucking me in. And I look at one of my friends. And then I start looking at, there's like 6 of them. I'm looking at all of them now. And they all look like they have horns and like little demons. And I jump up and I run to the bathroom.
Not weed. You're on
I run to the bathroom and we had dipped the spliff in we dipped one in maple syrup, we dipped one with alcohol. Like we just dipped it in different things. Yeah, we were very like curious. And I run to the bathroom and I'm just throwing up, and then somebody comes in, one of my friends come in, and he's just like, pussy. And I was like, there's nothing I could say.
No, I have another worse one. That was worse than both of those. No, that was close to being as worse as both of those. I remember I went to my friend's cottage, and he was like a massive pothead and whatever. Like he smoked so much weed. He had like a pile of keef in his that's how much weed he smoked. That's how you know someone smokes.
Yeah.
They have like when they have enough keef that you can share it with people.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Keef is that stuff.
And that's like the dust
after you grind it up.
Okay, see, I know.
So in the bottom of a grinder, it's just sitting there.
Yeah, and
and like that's supposed to be like super potent, and it's also like a mix of like the
everything you've been doing.
Right, so that's what makes it so much more.
So whatever years of weed he's been smoking and using, it's been collecting that dust, right?
Yeah. Right. Okay, got it.
And he's like, yeah, do a bong hit of this keef.
Fuck no.
Bro, I didn't even touch, I only touched the top. I literally lit it. I was like,
do you remember that bong hit that you did at my birthday cottage a couple years ago? You passed that. You missed.
You missed the whole birthday.
You missed. Everyone's like, "Oh, we're gonna sing Happy Birthday. Where's Hugh-Gene?"
I remember shooting up at like 11.
Shooting up?
Yeah, because
Is that what they call it?
I hope not, because that
sounds
like
heroin.
No, like jumping out of the bed.
Oh, you shot up.
Yeah.
Don't say you were shooting up.
I remember it was like 11. I was like, no, I remember it was like 11:50 or 40. So I remember.
Well, I remember coming into the room and like you were like lifeless laying there, and it was like 11:30. I'm like, hey, like my birthday's soon. Like we're gonna do stuff
I remember
at
shooting
midnight.
At like 11:50.
You're like, okay, I'm coming, and I was like, all right, and like I didn't think you were gonna make it.
Yeah, and 11:50 came in. I was like, pah, and I was like.
Yeah. So like you come out and everyone's trying to do like a birthday cheers and whatever, and he's standing there looking like a zombie off of The Walking Dead, and I'm just like, just go back to bed. Like thanks for trying, but just go. And he was like, he didn't even hesitate. But before it came out of my mouth, he was gone.
Yeah, there's one time me and this girl, we decided we're gonna see who can take the most bong tokes.
Oh no,
that was the worst because
Excuse me?
I can do bong tokes, but I knew she was like a champion bong toke, but I have too much pride to be like, yeah, you would win. So we're going bong for bong, and
it's like I have too much pride, so I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah. So she was at 10 hits.
Wow.
Yeah. She was a champ. So now I'm at 6. So I'm like, okay, my turn. I get to 7 and I can barely pull at this. I'm just so I'm like, okay, fine, you win. I'm drooling everything. So I'm like, okay, you win, fine. So now we're just chilling in my room and we're playing music, and she's high and she's just dancing. And she comes to me and she starts like dancing on me, and I just push her off. I run to the bathroom, I close the door, and I am yakking for my life. God. That was a night ruined.
Bongs are probably like the best thing to do to conceal smoking weed because it doesn't really produce any smell.
Yeah.
But like I don't do bongs because I know my tolerance is already slowly going up. It will just be like, and I don't want to enter that realm of weed smoking. I'll probably save weed because you don't need a lot, but like no, thank you. I remember I bought the bong and I didn't want it anymore.
You gave
After
it
that.
away.
So bongs are terrifying.
Yeah, after that one experience,
yeah.
He literally bought the bong to like right before the cottage, brought it, used it once,
Gave it away.
died, and was like, I don't want it. Someone take it.
Yeah, I didn't want it.
My cousin is like that too because I have a bong and he'll use it whenever he's feeling adventurous. But he's like, he can't because the last time he used it, he was crawling to the bathroom and like he just couldn't.
Yeah. Because the last time I did it before that was high school. Because my friend, she had this house she was renting out, and we pretty much hotboxed the entire house.
Oh, that's great.
It was like 30 kids there, just hotboxing like fucking the volcano thing.
Yeah,
and,
that's crazy.
This bong hits going on. It's like this plastic bag kind of like thing, and you're like. I don't know. It's one of those contraptions.
We call it. We used to call it a parachute.
Yeah, a parachute too. You can also do it with with a 2-layer bottle. So
and it blows up. Yeah. And all the smoke goes in. Yeah,
you pretty much just take you cut it in half. You put the 2-layer bottle down. You put water in it. Then you have another one. You cut it, and then you kind of
Are you saying 2-liter bottle or 2-layer bottle?
2 liter.
Oh.
2-layer water bottle.
You cut it in half.
Yeah, and then you just light the smoke, and oh god, and then just and then you slowly pull up, and then there's imagine a 2-liter bottle just full of smoke, right?
It sounds like he's saying 2-layer bottle, doesn't it?
Is it 2-liter
Enunciate.
2-liter bottle? And you the more you pull it out, the more smoke is pulled out, and you suck it all in. I want to try it because it's easy to do. You can just do it at home.
It's simple.
Maybe I'll do it during my vacation. I don't know.
Simple.
You'll get a call, be like, I can't feel my legs.
I made a weed lasagna, and that was the worst high ever because I had such a big piece.
This was using the same weed butter that you gave to Hugh.
Yes,
so
it is.
Keep that in mind, everyone listening, when he tells this story.
But I don't know portions, so I just pour until I feel like that should be good, and then I end up pouring more because I feel like that wasn't as good as I thought it was. So I ate a big piece, and I'm sitting there eating it with my cousin. I told him don't eat it because I can taste the weed, so I know I'm about to die. But the lasagna tastes so good. So he ends up getting a piece. So we both had a piece. We go our separate ways. I go to my room. He goes to his room. I'm laying there, and all I'm thinking about is, this is it. It's all over. I'm going to die because of this, and I'm okay with it. I threw up about 8 times. The last time I threw up, I was laying on the floor of the bathroom, just praying to God that I just die now because I don't want to do this anymore. I can't.
See, I hope I never throw up because of weed. Because every time I throw up, it's a lot of time I mix both. Because the last time I blacked out. Pretty much it ruined alcohol for me after that. Like I just don't care for it anymore. Like I really want a beer. I'm like, okay, I don't really care for it anymore because of that.
And I have a problem. My problem is when I get to that level, I don't want to be there for a while, and then a month later, I'm like, let's just dip my toe back in.
Let's go back to hell.
For my 19th birthday, Joe had got me a Airbnb and had friends over a party, and there's this one drink, Bacardi 151. I will never forget that
Which
name.
is discontinued, by the way.
Everywhere.
Wow.
Even in the States.
Because it was, what was it, 70%?
It is crazy.
It was Bacardi, but it was a really high percentage.
And that's the only time I drink Ray and Nephew, which is also a high percentage rum.
What?
But you didn't used to drink Ray
What's
that.
Ray,
No.
60?
Ray's
or 40.
No, Ray's
68
68 or something like that.
Or
65 something
like that.
But Bacardi 151 was higher than that.
Yeah.
And I just remember I'm laying there, and I get up, and Joe is like,
back up for a second, because I get the bottle, you know,
mistake in the first place. Your 19th birthday and you're drinking a 70% alcohol, man.
Well, first of all, it's not like he hadn't drank before, but it wasn't
70%.
But that's what he wanted,
yeah,
and
his
friends and everything.
Everybody.
I wasn't forcing.
It was a great night. It was a great night.
Because I've had moonshine before. I've had 80%, and that's
Yeah, no. So the bottle's on the table along with some other options. And
for the other options.
He's literally, I remember before the night starts, he's like, I want to get fucked up. I want to throw up. I don't want to remember tonight.
Nothing.
I'm like, no, don't say that. You don't want to go into the night saying you want to throw up. He's like, yes, I do. Yes, this is what I want. And
because I've never had a hangover before that. And I just wanted to know what everyone's talking about.
I wanted my head to hurt, guys.
He literally tried to kill himself doing shots of that. I'm sure you had other stuff too.
No, 100%. And that's when I made the weed cookies too. And it was just I did.
You did?
Yeah. So we had cookies on the table, and it was weed cookies.
No, you're mixing that up with a barbecue that you had for 420.
No, not then. Because TJ's sister was there, and her friend was there.
I
And
didn't
her
know there
friend
were
doesn't
weed
smoke
cookies
or
there.
do anything, but she saw cookies and started eating. So she had like 5, and I'm like, those are weed cookies. And she's like, oh my God. And she started tripping out like 20 minutes later.
life is
But
so
it was like, it was a really good night.
See, I want to do
It
that.
was a good night.
was
Talk about
great.
the morning. The next morning.
So, okay, partway through the night, I wake up, I go to the bathroom, and obviously I'm throwing up my life. I just remember trying to lean against the shower curtain. I don't know why. I pulled down the shower curtain. All I hear in the room is, that was it. Great. That's all I need to hear. That means she's not getting up. I don't care. So I remember waking up, hugging the toilet, vomit on me, vomit on the floor. So I physically crawl to the bedroom, and I just lay on the floor, and I said, forget it. I had a dream that an angel came to me and was like, here, have this. And it was a pillow. I woke up, and like 6 of my friends who slept over are all standing there. And I'm looking at them. I'm like, oh my God, guys, I had a dream that an angel gave me a pillow. And one of my cousins is like, I gave you that like 30 seconds ago. And like, we all start laughing. And there was somebody that wasn't too happy with all the noise that we were making.
Well, was Kadeem still in the room?
Yeah,
at this
Kadeem was still
point?
in the room.
Because I
Yeah.
remember I was laying beside Kadeem. He was still.
He's on the
he was
he's on the
laying
right
down?
side. Yeah.
He was still.
Yeah.
laying down?
Kadeem wasn't a part of the noise making.
I just like so. Me and Kadeem are sleeping, and Des is in the room on the floor. But like everyone's sleeping, and then all these people just come into the room. Oh, God.
And they're just making noise. And she's like, can you guys just get the fuck out?
Who does that? Who comes into a room
And
when
then
people
everyone,
are sleeping
like,
and just makes a
stopped,
whole bunch of noise?
And they looked at me, and I'm like, get out. So then they leave, and like, she was just upset. So not just upset, but she had a reason
that
to
was
be
you?
upset.
That was you?
That was screaming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then
I wasn't screaming.
she had left the house. So when she left, we're like, okay, we're gonna clean up now. So everyone started cleaning.
I left to get
You're gonna
everyone.
have fun again.
I left to get everyone breakfast.
Yeah, but we ended up making breakfast too. And like, yeah, but it was great. It was great.
Because
It
I
was a
felt
great
bad for
weekend.
yelling at people that.
Yeah,
I
but they
really
didn't
know
care.
that well.
I got tough skin.
Literally, the night that night, I left to like drop some of my friends at
Yeah,
home.
you were gone for like
And-
forever.
Well, because like it was far away.
Yeah.
But then like I come back and like when I left, you were fine. When I came back, the level of drunkenness was
Gone through the roof.
ridiculous.
It was like from here when she left, and we just kept going and going. Because when she came back,
the
it was
bottles were
about
gone.
it was
done.
about four in the
think it
morning.
was that
No,
late.
it was really late.
Was
Were you
it?
drunk for more than one day? Because when I blacked out, I was drunk for at least 2 days.
I don't think it's drunk. I
didn't
think
eat.
it's hungover.
Yeah.
I was hungover. I didn't eat all day. We went to the movies, and the only thing that I could have was the popcorn that kind of made me feel okay.
I don't remember any of that.
Yeah, I remember everything. It was
I
great.
remember being drunk for more than one day. Or feeling like I was drunk for more than one day.
But if you don't smoke, don't do it. It's not for everybody, and
Yeah, I don't know. Like I've had some experiences that are okay.
I think
and
it
like,
depends on the strain.
I see the benefit of it like in small doses. Obviously, you know, marijuana has a lot of like medical uses, but like to get high, no, not
No,
for
I
me.
think for me, it depends on the whatever you're smoking. If you're smoking sativa and you know you're not someone that like I like being in my head. Like I don't care. I like knowing what's going on in there. So I like a sativa. But like there's people that are like, I don't like knowing my thoughts. So then those people just go crazy.
they go crazy.
But to me, it's like those people that are like freaking out. To me, I'm just like, well, you have some stuff you need to deal with. Bro.
yeah, figure it out.
Because I feel like weed brings out shit.
But remember that time that I was mentioning earlier, and it was like I was still really high like that first time, but it was good. I remember just talking to you and like I couldn't stop talking.
Yeah, I know, because we smoked a sativa.
Right, but you weren't saying anything, and I'm like, I just
So
felt
I
like I
was
was
just
talking
enjoying.
forever.
But that's what happens all the time when we get high. You just talk, and I just, just enjoy.
Well,
the
don't say
company.
all the time as if I get high with you all the time.
No, yeah.
But yeah, the
No,
few times.
you end up talking a lot.
I'm a
and
talker,
I'm just
yeah.
like. So I can be a talker, but I have to be smoking I have to specifically have just sativa.
No, when
yeah,
I smoke, I
you
just
go
wanna
through
do
phases.
nastiness.
You're like a talker, and then as it starts to drop, I'm like, all right, he's gonna.
That's what I'm just like, the universe.
He's about to
Yeah.
drop.
I'm
Yeah.
becoming one with the universe now.
Yeah. All right. Well,
like weed.
this Square Room is partnered with Smart Home once again. So if you are looking to simplify your life, Smart Home can help you with that. They can help you with everything from remembering when your appointments are to planning your week, and they provide everything from personal assistants like Alexa or Google Home to automated lighting systems like Ring and security cameras. Their products are affordable and easy to program, and they communicate over your home's existing wiring, which means there's no interruptions and your appointments are always remembered and your house is always safe. You can use the discount code ROOM10 at checkout. That's ROOM10 for 10% off their website, smarthome.com, for any smart home device that you may need. You can follow them at Smart Home on Instagram and at Smart Home Inc. on Twitter. Smart Home, woo!
Ah, Smart Home!
So with the whole being in your head thing, right? So
Oh God, just the way that starts, I'm like,
this is a little bit more serious. It's not sad, it's just more serious. So I don't know how many of you out there do have both parents in your life, but congratulations if you do. And if you do, but you do not speak to them, you know, it's good to talk to your parents. Me and my grandma had this conversation the other day. But let's go to fathers. I don't like mine. Mm-hmm. Not even a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of people will say that's rude and blah, blah, blah. However, I'm a very nice person in the sense that I give people chances, and then you have to understand to a certain point where you give someone a chance and then you're just wasting your own time. So throughout my life, I didn't care for him. I met him when I was 13. When do you graduate grade 8? Mm-hmm. Yeah, 12, 13. Yeah. So my mom, right after graduation, my mom was like, okay, tomorrow you're going to Florida. For what? Oh, you're going to meet your dad. Pardon? Yeah, you're going to spend all summer with your dad. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And she's like, yeah, you are. Don't worry. And I'm like, okay, well, you know,
don't worry.
I don't know what he looks like. I don't know anything. She's like, oh, don't worry. When you get off the plane, you'll know.
He's like, look in the mirror. That's what you look like.
And you know what? She's not wrong. Because when I got off the plane and the whole baggage thing, I look up and I'm like, yeah, that's him. Like, that's him. He looks stupid. That's him.
He looks stupid.
Yeah. But even that summer, I barely saw him. He was always at work, which is fine. I understand your life still goes on. But, you know.
What'd you do then?
What did I do?
Yeah.
Hung out with his friend who was an entrepreneur, so it was great.
Oh, that's good.
He had like everything you can think of. He had like 6 computers. Oh, shit. He had TVs connect. Like, he had shit I've never seen before in my life, but it was good. But up until recently, maybe a couple years ago, I have tried to keep in contact with him. And a couple years ago, I asked him, you know, what was the reason between you and mom, why you weren't in my life? Because for you, those of you who don't know, because you guys don't know, I have an 11-year-old son, which means I had him when I was 15. 15. Yes, I said 15.
So young.
Yep.
But you have to get so close to the mic.
I was
that part.
digging it out at 15. Yep. But anyway, so when you have a child, there's certain things you go through, and there's certain things that you look at differently. Up until I had my son, I was not a fan of my stepdad. I felt like he was too rough on me, and you know, we just had our differences. But after, I could be like, okay, I understand what you were trying to do, but because you didn't have any kids, you didn't know how to go about it. I can respect that. So when I was about 23, yeah, I was about 23. The last time I actually spoke to my dad, aside from strippiness, was I asked him, what was the reason you weren't in my life? I don't care why you weren't in my mom's life. That's between you guys. But why weren't you in mine? And he was like, oh, the little pig said to the big pig, why are your horns like that? And the pig said, one day you two will understand. I blocked him right after that, immediately. And I told my mom, don't tell me about him. Don't tell me he's calling. Like, I don't care.
He was processing.
I don't get it.
So, hogs, they have horns.
Yeah.
So that's what he's saying. The little one with no horn is asking, why do you have horns? Yeah. And he's saying, one day you'll realize that. So what you're saying is, one day I'll realize why you didn't talk to me?
So, I don't get...
Yeah, it makes no sense.
It doesn't make... Like, I'm trying to break it down. Like, maybe one day you'll go into the... Because when a pig... Like pigs you see in the farm.
I think you're taking the pig thing too literally.
I am. I'm trying to make sense of it. Because whenever you take like a regular domestic pig, once you put them in the wild, they automatically become a hog.
No,
right?
Hugh.
That's not what he's talking about.
I don't know. Maybe
he's just trying to say like.
It's a metaphor. It's not about pigs.
Yeah,
I'm trying to make it make sense.
It's not about pigs, sweetheart.
He's not answering my question. He's just trying to avoid the question by saying, you know, don't ask me.
When you're older.
Yeah, you'll really click in and you'll understand. You ever have that
moment where like the parents like, oh, you'll understand when you get older. When you have your own kids, you'll understand. Like that. That's basically what he's doing in a roundabout way.
But I'm a grown man, first of all. you know, I'm not a grown man, but I'm a grown man at 23.
Yeah.
I have my own son. Like, I just asked you a simple question. You can't answer it. That's cool.
Yeah.
So I didn't speak to him after that.
Yeah.
And then I find out 2 years ago, my mom is like, oh, your sister got into a car accident. And I was like, oh my God, because I know I have a half sister in Florida. So I was like, oh my goodness, is she okay? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh yeah, she's okay. I was like, wait, in Florida? She's like, no, in Jamaica. I was like, oh, why was she in Jamaica? She's like, no, you have another sister. Excuse me? She's like, yeah, I didn't know that either until your dad sent me some news article and blah, blah, blah. So now I go and I message him and I'm just like, what is her name? He tells me her name. I said, how old is she? She was about 17 at the time. I don't understand. So as a man, you like man better than male, right?
Whatever.
So as a man with a child already, and because I have gone through what I've gone through with not having a father figure in my life, there's certain things I don't understand why other people who go through the same thing I do the things they do. So for example, same thing I was saying in the last episode with, oh wow, it wasn't even an episode, it was a side conversation with the girl who had the kids and there's no man around and she's mistreating the kids. How can you know you have a child in this world and not care about how they end up? And that also,
Just shut that part off.
but you can't.
There's people that can.
Well, I'm not saying you can't, but you shouldn't.
You shouldn't, but they just do. Because it's easier.
That's crazy to me, and that's why I brought it up right
It's
after
fucked
the
up,
whole,
but yeah, no, there's people that can shut off parts of their brain and be like, oh, that happened.
like, no matter how bad my child's mother could be, or, you know,
Yeah, you stay in the
that,
kid's life.
yeah, to me, that has nothing to do with her and him and me. Like, that's between her and me, and what's between me and him is between me and him, no matter how bad the relationship between me and her are. So there's certain things that I just don't understand, and when I smoke, I get in my head, but I figure everything out. So
you figured out the hog metaphor is what you're saying?
no, so I figured out the hog metaphor means he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it. And I recently had changed my number, and WhatsApp messages everyone that you're last contact with to let them know you changed your number. I have not spoken to him, and he has been messaging me like once in a blue moon, hey, what's up? I've not replied in like 2 years, but he still tries. Good for him. And WhatsApp messaged him and told him my number changed. So he messaged my new number and I just blocked him. Blocked and deleted. He got married again. I blocked his wife and deleted. I spoke to her and everything was nice, but I realized every time I speak to her, she's always like, oh yeah, your dad is okay. I didn't ask about him. And I don't bring it up because I don't want to be rude to her because that's not me. But I don't care. I don't care.
I mean, I 1,000% relate with what you were talking about because, you know, I am not close with my father. He definitely is not the father figure that I wanted, needed, or deserved. He wasn't, you know, the greatest. I had the whole thing like finding out about siblings at a older age and like all of that stuff. Still may have some out there. It's funny because growing up, my mom always used to say like she wants me to know my siblings and my family because God forbid I grow up, fall in love with a man
and
only to find out
I'm your brother.
only find, you know, it's so funny because
Seen this porn.
you know, Hugh and I at first had to wonder if we were related when we first met because our dads have very similar names.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was like wait, brother? Long lost brother? But no, they're not they're not the same person. But yeah, like I totally relate to that, and it's funny because I've said this. I think I've said it to your face before, but I don't really like to compliment you too much. But
This is twice in 2 episodes, but go ahead.
what do you mean?
You complimented me last episode too. No, go ahead. Let me hear it.
There you go. It's a good start.
All right, this is gonna be the last because we're not making this a habit.
Nah.
No, but I've said it to people before. I know I've said it to my mom. I said it to friends. I don't know if I've said it to you or not, but I definitely commend you because not only are you a good father and have you been there for your son every step of the way, you stepped up when you were 15 years old, which a lot of people can't do in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and plus. Like, you know, especially. Sorry to bring race into it, but like as a black man, because you know that the stereotype of black father is just not being there. Yeah. So for you to step up at that young age when it was easy for you to like slack off, like when you have your son, like who cares if you miss a party? Who cares if you miss a hangout? Who cares if you know can't hang out with this person or that person? Like you're always, you're a good dad. At the end of the day, you're a great dad. Thank actually, you. And you're always there for him. And I'm like, damn, how can I look at this child this child being a better father than my grown ass dad? Like, you know, it's crazy. And it's like you really commend people who like work hard to break that cycle, which is what you did.
Yeah.
You know, and like your son is gonna grow up having a good example of a father, so to him it's gonna come naturally because that's what he saw. He's not gonna have to work as hard as you to be different.
That
He's gonna be, well, obviously I have to do this. This is what
my dad did this.
Right.
So,
like, you know, like those learned habits that come naturally, as opposed to having to like, oh, I never want to be the type of parent my parent is.
Yeah.
It's like, it really sticks with you. And like you
but
said,
that is
like,
what drives me though, that I do not want to be like my dad. Because growing up, my mom was always like, you're just like your dad. I don't want to hear that. I don't know this guy. I don't want to know this guy. I don't want to hear that. So that is what drove me at 15 to not be like that. But then it just started to come natural. And then as he started talking and walking and following me everywhere I went, it was like, oh, this is great. This feels good. Even he's really into basketball. So when we go to the court, we try and go every day. I sat down and I talked to him. I said, listen, if you want to play basketball, I will support you 100% of the way if you want 100% be in it. I don't want you to go to games and, you know, half-ass it just because. No, I'm not paying for that. I'm not supporting that. You either put your all into it or don't do it. So he decided that, you know, he's going to put everything into it. So I told him every day he needs to practice. So we went out practicing. And I told him, I'm like, you know what? You're very fortunate to have somebody who's willing to go out with you every day and practice with you. I said for volleyball, I had to throw the ball at the top of the stairs, let it bounce back down, bump it back to the top just for my stepdad to tell me to stop doing that in the house. I'd go outside, play with myself because my friends didn't like volleyball like that. So there's certain things that, you know, I'm glad that I can have him understand and see at a young age and come natural. And it was sad because one day we were at one of his basketball games and one of his teammates, not even friends, his teammates, was like under my arm, like my arm was around him, and I was like, okay, whatever, like I don't care. So some other kid came up and was like, that's not your dad, what are you doing? Like, that's Caden's dad. And he's like, oh, well, I don't know my dad. And I was like, oh shit. So like, I don't feel bad in the sense that he looked at me like, okay, Caden's dad is really cool, like a nice father figure. I just felt bad that he was comfortable enough to be like, yeah, I don't know my dad, so what's the problem? Like that shouldn't be the norm, and I don't like that.
I 1,000%.
And I talk to a lot of my friends who do have kids. Like, I understand that sometimes the mother or the father of your child can be very difficult to deal with, but you have to look past that and be the bigger person, end the conversation where it is, because it's not about you. It's not about them.
That's what I struggled with, because I knew, even growing up, like, I knew my mom gave my dad a hard time. And when I say hard time, I mean when she found out he was cheating, didn't let him get away with it, confronted him. When, you know, she had me and he wasn't stepping up, she brought him to court for child support, like hard time in that sense. Yeah. So I knew, obviously, and I don't know about all of his other children's mothers, but I know my mom was one of, if not the only, to bring him to court. So I know, like, he already viewed her as like, oh, you're the one causing me trouble and whatever. But it was like, I'm still here.
It's me.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
I don't care if you and my mom and first, like, I don't know. It's just like, still step up and be that father figure. And like, when I was younger, I didn't really understand, because like he would come around every now and then, but like he would like promise to come around and then not, and then like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
As a kid, you don't realize, but as you grow up, you're like, yeah, okay.
Literally, like I had to like I remember being out in public and getting called a name and like not knowing. Like, I'm like, that's not my name. Like, this person's crazy. Only to find out that they thought I was one of my siblings, and because I look so much like this person. Because I feel like that's how it always is. You always look like the parent that's not around. Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, you look just like your dad. I'm like,
I don't want to hear that.
Because you look just like your dad.
I hate it.
It's like, oh my God. But
I look like both.
You know, oh, wonderful. No, but I think you do a good job at both being like a parent figure, obviously a mentor, and a friend to a certain extent with your son, which is great, because that's like the balance that like every kid wants to have. Well, I guess they don't really care about having like the parental figure when they're young, but you know, when you grow up, you really appreciate that. It's like, you're a parent to me, you're strict when you need to be, but like you're a friend in the sense of like I can talk to you about things, and you know, and like I wish I had that, because I feel like not having that parental figure in my life, and especially seeing like my other half siblings have that closeness with him. When my brother posts, "Oh, happy Father's Day, Pops," I'm like, "Pops." Like, it's just like that concept is so foreign to me, and like I feel like, I mean, you probably felt that way before you had your son. It's like, how can I be a good parent when like I feel like there's this like part that's missing,
blocked out. Yeah, like, do I really understand what I need to do? Because I like, yeah, it's like I literally wonder if like I have the capacity to be like, I don't doubt that I would be a good parent, but like, when like that you could do better at something, but you feel like something's like holding you back and like you don't know why. And like I feel like not having that closure with my father is because of that. But it's also like, with that being said, like, I don't know, it's like, do I even want, well, first of all, I know I don't want a relationship at this point with him. It's like it's too late. But it's like, would I want a conversation to ask the whys, the why nots? No, you do not. I feel like I do. You think you do until you get a stupid answer. Well, here's the thing. I don't think
going with expectations.
I don't think. Well, exactly. I don't think any answer I get will make up for anything, for years of being absent, or for worse. You think it could make it worse? I think it could make it worse.
Yeah, but then going to it with that mindset like this could potentially make it worse. Because
you can go in, exactly. You can go in like, okay, you know what? If he says something I don't like, fine. I already, don't care for him. But what if he says something that really is like, wow? Because let's say, God forbid, he says something to disrespect your mother. Now you're going too far.
But he already has.
Yeah, but now he's doing it to you as a grown woman.
He's done it to me as a teenager.
As a teenager, but not as a grown woman. I'm a grown woman. I'm asking you a simple question. Right, but now I'm in a
position to stand up for myself more than I was.
And then that's going to hurt you a little bit more, and you're going to be like, yo, I wish I'd even talked to this guy at all.
The way I see it is, it's kind of like, when you have a bad breakup and there's no closure, the person just out of your life, you don't know why. Stop. But I feel like it would give me closure for that relationship, or whatever it would have been, that father-daughter relationship.
Hugh, I'm looking at you and I realize you haven't said a word.
No, I can't relate. My dad was around.
That's nice. Did you go to the park with your dad?
Must be nice.
No, we played baseball.
Yeah, that's nice. That's the thing. When I was in elementary school, I used to like go to the park and like walk around the neighborhood by myself, and I'd see kids and their dads doing stuff, and I'm just like, and like, it's not that me and my stepdad couldn't.
You don't have brothers, do you?
I have two younger brothers, so I'm the oldest.
Yeah, so that's not the
for
same,
my mom and my dad.
Yeah,
and I would like my stepdad. I couldn't be like, hey, let's go play basketball. Like he wasn't into those things. He was super like into church, and you see what Seventh-day Adventist. Of course,
that's the worst.
Yeah, so a lot of things were really strict with him, and I didn't like that, and I didn't understand it until I had my son, and then me and him started to get along better, and then him and my mom fell out, and like even years after they fell out, like he called me one day and we're talking. I'm like, okay, bye, Dad. He's like, what? I was like, bye, Dad. He's like, I'm not your dad, right? I'm like, yes, you are. And he's like, you don't have to call me that anymore. I'm like, what would I call you? And he's like, oh, you can just call me Junior. And I'm like, no, I'm going to call you Dad. Like even in my phone, like his name is Dad. I'm not calling you other thing.
What church did you go to?
Philadelphia.
I've heard that name before.
Yeah, where'd you go?
Yeah,
I went to Scarborough Seventh-day Adventist Church.
You went to Scarborough?
Yeah, so that Philadelphia is our neighboring church, so I haven't heard that name.
Yeah, like Carrie, Shantae.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to go to Scarborough all the time. Actually, Scarborough's the church I used to say I would go to when I would skip church to go hang out with friends.
To go sin?
Yes.
Scarborough was a sinning church, man.
It was but their church is huge now. They're so small.
Yeah, it's a huge church now. Yeah. We had that land for like years. It'd be like a giant garden and shit.
Yeah.
And then,
I don't know. I feel like, I mean, maybe you feel differently, but like I feel like if a stepfather told me not to call him Dad, I feel like that would hurt my feelings.
It didn't hurt my feelings because I understood why he was saying it. Because him and my mom aren't anything anymore. And because, you're a grown man. I'm technically not your dad. Me and your mom aren't married.
It's also a sign of respect.
Yeah. That's what I was telling him. Like, ew, no, I would never call you by your real name. Don't be weird, you weirdo. And he just started laughing. And he's just like, okay. And like I said, like some things that I do with my son.
But yeah, I guess technically, like if him
he
and your mom are not together, he's not your stepdad anymore.
And he's not my...
But it's like...
You raised me.
Still raised me
more than my actual dad,
right?
So
Because I know him. He's a nice guy.
Yeah. He's okay. No, he's great.
Nobody's perfect, but you know the side of him that I know he's a nice guy.
No,
but
the things I went through as a child were super traumatizing.
No, they were. I know.
And I don't want to say I hated him, but that's what it felt like at the time. But then after I had my son, and now my son is growing up, and I'm trying to teach him things. I'm like, this is what he was trying to teach me, but he just did it in a shitty way. And like we had a conversation about it, and he's like, oh, so you see why I used to tell you to blah 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, I get it, and we laugh about it and whatever. Like he is cool. He's super cool. And I do wish we had a better relationship when I was younger, because maybe I would grow up feeling differently towards my real dad and not caring at all. But I went through a phase where I really did care, because I'm like, Caden, and he tries to be close with Caden, which is completely fine by me. Like, that's your grandchild, regardless if I approve of it or not.
I don't feel the same way. I'm like, that's your grandchild through me. So you ain't getting through me to my child? Who? You're better than me.
I always told my mom, like, if he wants to talk to Caden, I won't stop that. That's fine. But I personally want nothing to do with him.
See, that's so mature. I'd be so petty. Like, nope, not me, not my son.
Yeah, a lot of people tell me that. They're like, no, Des, no.
No, it's the right thing to do. My first
instinct
instinct is to be petty, but like that is the right thing to do.
Yeah, but parents are shitty. They do traumatize children, and
they don't try to.
I know, which is the worst part, especially if they're West Indian, because of the way they grew up. It's really hard for them not to, do certain things or treat you a certain way. Me and my aunt were talking. Well, me, my aunt, and my cousin were talking, and she said, like, she has never called my cousin any name, like. Parents would be like, oh, why would you do that? Are you stupid or something? She was like, yeah, she's never done that because she understands, it might not sound like anything, but who knows in his head. Yeah. And I was like, wow, that's so right. Do you know how much time my mom used to tell me I'm stupid? Oh my goodness. And I used to go to my room like, I'm not stupid. Yeah. And like, yeah, it was just when you do have kids, or if you do have kids, no matter what they do or how they go about things, just try and remember that you were a kid at one point, and what they're going through is definitely different these days. And like my son, he's online and he's playing video games, talking to his friends, and I'm not in this conversation. I know he's not, he's not like me at all, so he's probably talking about good stuff. And I give him his space where he needs it, because it's good to give kids their space. You can't be under their ass, because then that's when they become like me and try and hide things and sneak out the house and all these other things you don't want them to do. And because we do have that respect level where if I ask him a question, you are going to answer me. And if you can't give me a good reason, then until you give me a good reason, you can't go to this person's house, or you can't do this. And I like that he understands that my word is law. That's that. Him and his mom will be playing. When I say we're like, that's it. That's it. No questions asked. So... to all you shitty parents out there, do better.
Fatherly advice from Des Wayne.
Do better.
I feel like a lot of this does apply to, obviously, absentee mothers as well.
No, 100%.
I feel like sometimes it might even cut deeper, because you think, like, oh, you carry a child inside of you for so long that, like... Yeah. And I'm not talking about, like... adoption Divorce and that sort of thing. No. I'm talking about, like, mothers who are just like, nope.
Here's your child. Goodbye.
Yeah.
There you go.
Literally.
For those of you who are either young or want to have your child that young, another advice from Des Wayne is don't do it. I'm not talking about 15 young. I mean, if you are...
like 23, 24.
Yeah, like, I'm not saying you can't have a child at 23, 24 and everything turn out okay. But just think about where you are, and after the child comes, everything becomes a little bit harder. Not just based off of you taking care of the child, but even if you have a significant other, things become harder between the two of you now. And if you feel like you care for the child more than the other one does, now things are going to get a lot stickier. And if you're not financially where you need to be, and you don't have a supportive family, and like, thank God I had a supportive family. When my mom found out, she kind of just laughed at me. And like, everybody was always there to help, and they still are, which is really good. His grandma on the other side was bad-mouthing me when he was born, and she's like, oh, he's not gonna be around, why would you do that, blah 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 blah. And last month she called me and she's like, I just wanted to tell you that you're doing such a great job, and I couldn't think of anybody else would be a better father. And I was like, oh.
Shut up, bitch.
You know what? I didn't want to say that because that's
I remember what you said.
But I called his mom right away and I'm like, you'll never guess what your mom just said to me. And she's like, you should have told her this and this. I'm like, no, maybe next time. Yeah, but.
You think I forgot what you said when he came out?
You see what I mean? Exactly. So if you are not mentally there, financially there, like you just.
But are you ever
can't.
mentally there? Maybe financially there.
I know people with kids, they say you're never really ready, but there's definitely a stage of your life where you're somewhat more ready than other stages. You know, it's like you just kind of have to like bite the bullet at some point. But it's like you never know when you're ready, but you know when you're not ready.
Yeah, you know when you're not ready.
Yeah.
Like, I know a couple of people who have been like, oh, my God, I don't want to have a kid at 30. I want to have my kid at 24. Oh, my God, I'm 23 and I don't have a kid yet.
No, it is nice because you are going to be... It's not like, oh, by the time you're done raising your kids, you're 60 and old and withered and got no more life left in you. Not saying that 60 is old and withered. I'm just saying. But...
You pretty much just did.
No, it's not.
You said old.
You pretty much
no. I'm saying you are not going to be 60 and old. And you can be 60 and old and withered, and you cannot. Okay. Anyways, moving forward. I'm just saying, right? But like the appeal of having kids when you're young.
Yeah, you get to be around and shit.
Is like you get to do shit with them and like.
You get to have great grandchildren and all that shit.
Right. You're going to like see generations of your family.
But here's the thing: life expectancy's been going up every year, so who knows?
Yeah, and then here comes Miss Rona to wipe everyone out.
To me, it's not even about... It's just about the time that you are there. So if you have a child at 50, you could have the best next 10 years of your life with that child as opposed to someone who's 24 and struggles for 6 years. The child goes through some things the child didn't need to just because you wanted to have sex with the dad and the dad is gone and, you know? And that's how I look at things and I told my son that I will never die. I've always told him this since he was
I am eternal.
Yeah, I told him this I was like, I will never die. Like, I don't care what life says. I don't die. And to this day, I'll say things like, oh my God, what if one day I get in a car accident and die? He's like, but I thought you would never die. I'm like, oh, right. Sometimes I forget.
You're like, oh, phew.
Yeah. Oh.
Mortal.
Oh God, I forgot. How could I forget?
Oh my
And like, it's just about the time you have here. And everyone always says it when somebody close to them passes away. They're like, oh my God, we never know how much time we have left. 2 weeks later, they go back to being a shitty ass person.
No.
So like, I always have that mentality where I try not to be a shitty person on purpose because I don't know what the other person is going through or what they've been through or whatever the case is. So you could just be a shitty person and hurt someone's feelings one day, and then 2 days later, you know, God forbid, they do something to themselves. And realistically, you were that final straw that kicked the bucket. And I can't live with that. Like, I can't. Just Deswayne advice again. Don't be a shitty person.
Is that your input, Hugh? He's just sitting there going,
Hugh, how is it to have both parents, by the way? We didn't.
How is it to have a dad that loves you?
Yeah, it feels great. No?
How is it to win the black kid lottery?
Did you have Did you have to like battle between parents?
It's great.
I'm not a statistic.
Literally a couple days ago, he was laughing at me and he was like, "Ha, you bastard!" I'm like, stop, because you know I am.
Yeah,
and he was like, and he started to cackle. And I'm like, Eugene, stop.
Yeah, like I really am.
I'm like, no, like you know that hurts me. And he was
like,
like,
I didn't do. I said
you
that.
were
and I said yes, I did at first.
And then he tried to say sorry and couldn't look me in the eye and continued to laugh, just like that.
Woo!
Yeah, how is it? Is it good?
Yeah, it's pretty good, man.
You had like real Christmases and stuff like that.
Nah, Christmases suck because I'm a family 7-day Adventist, right?
Oh, right.
Did you not hear the episode of our podcast?
Yeah, I got Bibles, nigga.
He got a Bible.
Yeah.
For everyone who is
more
listening,
than once.
Dez's face just dropped.
My mom gave this. My mom was more Christian.
More than
my
once,
dad.
you said?
Oh yes. My dad was more
Why?
like he believes in God,
yeah.
but he just goes to church because he's like my wife.
Yeah, that's my mom. That's my mom.
And then my mom was more like into it. So like my dad, his presents were all right. He like how I rap is literally how my dad rap. Is literally be a box.
You don't rap things.
That's exactly how my dad raps.
Yeah.
It's
so my dad
just like crumple paper, slap some
tape
tape
He
around.
would get a Mark's Workwear box. He would go there, just
Put
tape it. And that was it.
There you go, buddy.
And I'm like, oh, thanks, but like, no, my mom always gave crap gifts. It was always like a Bible. Like there was a year. Every year I got. I'm like, can I get an iPod? There's a Bible with audio.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Oh, with audio? At least you got that.
Talk to you, man.
You wanted the iPod, but you at least got the audio part of it.
You got Jesus, man. Fucking.
She's like, you want to listen to something? Listen
Did
to
both
the
of them go to
Bible.
parent-teacher interview?
No, mostly my dad. My dad, I would give marks to. Cause
That's actually pretty cool.
Because my dad was more like, I will talk to you logically and like give you some hope. My mom's like, you're a retard. So that's why. So I'd always, if I ever did shit on a test, I would go to my dad.
Yeah.
And like 9 times out of 10, it was parent-teacher interviews. Most of the time, it was my dad that I would go with. Because my dad was more like, you're not dumb. And I was like, you're stupid. So my mom was more like the put down, and my dad was more like the put up.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. No, it was bad. It was good and bad.
I had the put down
Did it
and then
keep
the
you
stay
level?
silent. My mom would put me down and my stepdad would stay out of it. And then sometimes when my stepdad would talk to me, I wouldn't answer. Like, he'd ask me a question that I know is rhetorical.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, didn't I ask you a question? I'm like, And then he'll just box me in my head. I'm not a dummy. Don't. I remember one time.
It's like visualize that.
I was telling my son
no.
the first time I heard the word sexual harassment was in grade 6, and he started laughing at me because he's going to grade 6 now.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, when I was in grade 6, it was grabbing ass day, and I didn't say ass, I don't swear, as far as he's concerned. So I grabbed this girl's butt in the line, and she started crying. So I get in trouble, obviously, and I go home, and my mom is beating me senseless in the
You
back.
want to grab ass? I grab
Actually,
ass.
first the whole story. So it takes.
Yeah, literally, you want to grab ass?
I live 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes walking from my elementary school, and she tells the principal to send him home. I took about 20-30 minutes to get home, and I walk inside and I smell food. If you grow up in a black home, you know if you're in trouble and you smell food, you're not in trouble then. There's no way they're cooking good food when you're in trouble. So I walk in, I smell nice stewed chicken. I'm going up the stairs. She says, are you hungry? I said, yes. She said, okay, go wash up.
It's a trap. No.
Trap. So I drop my bag, me like an idiot. Okay. I go in the bathroom. I close the door. I use the bathroom. As I'm peeing and I'm washing my hand, I look in the mirror and I see the back of the door. And I'm like, I don't remember that belt being there this morning. She enters the bathroom, locks the door. I said, shit. Oh, you want to do that? Boom. So she starts beating me. Okay, yeah. I'm trying to fend for myself, fend for my life.
Premeditated.
And
Pants up at least?
Yeah. Okay. And I start backpedaling because I'm scared, and I fall in the tub, and there's a belt in the tub. And she is just beating me senseless.
Planned this shit.
No, 100%.
It was
And
like a fucking.
She probably had one in
It's like
every
drop
corner.
that one, grab that one.
you see what I mean? And at
In
this
case one
point,
slips from her hand, she don't have to bend down for it. She just grabs it from the next drawer.
I don't know how long she was beating me for, but I know it was a long time. Because then my stepdad came home and he's knocking the bathroom door and she's not stopping. She's beating me. So he like busts down the door.
Stop.
And he grabs her. And keep in mind, like at this point in my life, I don't like this guy. So he's grabbing her hand like, stop. And she pushes him off and she's like, this is my kid. Don't tell me what to do. From I heard that, I knew I was dead. It was over. And she's just going and he grabs her again and he's like, Des, get out and go to your room. She's like, don't you dare move. I stood there and just, I didn't know what to do, man. The evil one is telling me to go to my room and stay safe.
Trying to save you.
Yeah.
The
So
good one's trying to kill you.
I let them argue while I was crying my eyes out. I went in the room and I decided I was running away. I packed my little He-Man toy and
Excuse me?
He-Man.
What was that?
Alarm.
Oh, enough.
Oh, that's my alarm.
He is telling a story of his childhood.
Yeah, because remember, I start work at 9. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I went to sleep. I woke up with a whole bunch of whales all over my body and everything.
You mean welts?
Is it called welts?
Yeah, it's welts. Wailing is what she was doing to you. She was wailing on you.
Oh.
And then welts is the
I just knew it hurt. That's all I knew. Laying down hurt.
Like you
everything
woke up with
hurt.
whales? Like were they beluga killer? Free Willy? Damn.
And then I went downstairs and she's like, oh, do you want something to eat? And I just looked at her and I
just act like
I went right back. No, I just went right back to my room. I got suspended for a day, and when I was supposed to go back to school, I had a mark under my eye. And she's like, oh, come here. And she started putting makeup on it and was like, oh, this is why I did this, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no. No.
I know what you did.
I went to school and nobody really noticed. I think that one teacher did, and he was like, is everything okay? And I looked at him like, you're the damn reason this happened. But I was like, yeah, everything's fine.
We had grab-and ass day at my school. It wasn't in grade 6. It was in middle school, and we had grab-and-ass day.
Yeah, it's a thing.
It didn't go that way for me.
Oh, you're lucky.
Grabbing ass.
If you had a fat ass, your ass got grabbed.
Regardless if you had a fat ass. And I used to really like this girl. She lived right across the street from me, and I used to stalk her.
Oh.
Yeah. I was one of those creepy stalker kids that everyone thought was so cool, but secretly is kind of a creep. And I used to like run home from school to watch her and her sister walk home. And I used to play Nicky Nicky Nine on her house on purpose when I knew it was just her home alone. Like I did some pretty weird stuff. I went in other people's agenda to get her number, and like I did the most.
Okay, that was never a thing at any of the schools that I went
in Markham.
to.
Yeah, in Markham. Yeah, okay. What are you gonna grab in Markham? Lower back?
I didn't grow up there.
Oh yeah, you didn't. I forgot.
But yeah, no, that was never a thing. And like, sorry to be the like Debbie Downer.
No, it's wrong.
But like,
It's
no.
wrong.
From a woman's perspective, like like that's like actually horrible.
Yeah, it was wrong.
Yeah, but as children, you don't know wrong from right, really.
But as children, like that can actually fuck you up.
Yeah, but you don't know wrong from right.
I mean, you should though.
No, I
got
didn't.
tackled by these same people, and
I was told
They were trying pants me all the time.
I was told not to touch anyone like unwantedly, man or woman, girl or boy. Like I don't know where y'all were.
Do you know how many girls have grabbed my nuts, kicked me my nuts?
I don't know what.
That's traumatizing.
They probably kicked you in your nuts because you're grabbing their asses.
No, that was after.
Predator. I don't know what kind of backwoods y'all were raised in. What kind of
Dean
farm,
Park.
barnyard. But that's not how civilized.
Yeah, I was not civilized. I was well behaved at church, which is crazy.
That's why you got your ass beat.
No, 100%.
Church kids always got their ass beat.
Always.
They're the worst kids.
The worst.
You guys say that as if I went to church as a child as well. I wasn't like that. I was a good kid.
Yeah, but you didn't go to Seventh-day Adventist
Thank
church.
you very much. I was just about to say that.
I'm not SDA.
And if you were, you would understand that they are all, not one of them is good. Not one. And I don't care who hears this. If you go to a Seventh-day Adventist church or your child goes, is all I gotta say.
I've been to Seventh-day Adventist church when I go with like.
No, that doesn't count as being a member of the church.
No, I mean true. I'm just saying they all seem pretty nice.
Oh, we missed you, Brother Baker, but we never call you even though your number's in the directory.
Thank you. Right. Oh, we heard you were sick. We were praying for you. Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
All right. Before
old ass decrepit.
Okay.
Lady.
Okay. All right. Y'all,
where's your husband?
Y'all aren't about to go in on people's religions right now. That is more than enough for this week's episode.
It's my religion too.
Thank you so much
I disown it.
for listening. As always, you guys can tune into thisgroup.com. You can, find all of our episodes there, our latest news and blog posts and everything that you need. We are on all podcast platforms. Our Instagram and Twitter is at This Square Room. Hugh-Gene, where can they find you?
HUGHGNEB on Instagram.
Des?
Desi D18, DEZZIE D18 on Instagram.
And you can find me, Jonel Wilson, at Jonel Wilson on Instagram and Twitter. And until next time, we will see you next Tuesday.